61 is to hold the fort, and this means to take care of something temporarily while someone else is away. For example, can you hold the fort while I'm in a meeting? 62 is to wheel and deal, and this means to negotiate or bargain aggressively or shrewdly. For example, he's always wheeling and dealing to get the best prices. 63 is to run a tight ship, and this means to manage something or an organization efficiently and with strict control. For example, under her leadership, they run a tight ship, or they run a tight ship in the department. It means they're careful with what they do, they're careful with what they spend, etc. To dot the I's and cross the T's. So dot an I and cross a T, as in if you're handwriting. And this means to pay attention to small details, to complete something thoroughly. For example, before submitting the report, make sure to dot the I's and cross the T's. 65 is to keep the wolf from the door, and this means to have enough money to avoid hunger or poverty. For example, despite the layoffs, they managed to keep the wolf from the door. Basically means they don't go bankrupt, they still have some money to survive. 66. Sink or swim. This means to succeed or fail based on one's own efforts or abilities. For example, in this company, it's sink or swim. You have to prove yourself. 67. Nail down. And this means to finalize or specify something precisely. For example, we need to nail down the details of the contract before signing. 68 is to get down to brass tacks, which means to focus on the essential details. And an example is, let's get down to brass tacks and discuss the budget. 69. To have skin in the game, and I like this one. This means to have a personal stake or investment in something. For example, she has skin in the game and is committed to the project's success. So this would be used if someone really is committed to the project. Maybe they have invested money in this project, so they really have skin in the game. They really need this to succeed. 70 is to take the plunge, and this means to make a decision or take action, especially when it involves risk. For example, after years of saving, they finally took the plunge and started their own business. 71 is to throw caution to the wind, and this means to act without considering the risks involved. For example, she threw caution to the wind and invested all her savings in the startup. This means to act recklessly. 72 is to stick to your guns, and this means to maintain one's position or opinion firmly. For example, despite the criticism, she stuck to her guns and defended her proposal. 73. Hold your horses, which means to wait or be patient. For example, hold your horses. We need to review the contract before signing. 74 is to get off on the wrong foot, and this means to start a relationship or situation badly. For example, they got off on the wrong foot during the initial meeting. 75 is to have your finger on the pulse, and this means to be aware of the latest developments or trends. For example, as a manager, you need to have your finger on the pulse of the industry. 76. Cut and dried. This means clearly decided or settled, lacking in ambiguity. For example, the terms of the agreement are cut and dried. 77. Wet behind the ears. This means inexperienced or naive. For example, he's still wet behind the ears. He'll learn with time. 78 is to throw in the towel, and this means to give up or surrender. For example, after numerous setbacks, they decided to throw in the towel. 79 is to play something by ear, and this is not only for business, but very commonly used in a business setting. And it means to deal with a situation as it unfolds without a fixed plan. For example, let's play it by ear and see how the negotiations go. Okay, thank you very much for listening. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to download the PDF document in the description. Join my community if you enjoyed this. This is the kind of content that we have in the community, as well as lots of other courses, a learning community where you can interact with other students, and much more. Take care.